Imagine standing at the starting line of your dreams, while the world waits to see if you'll move. Most people hesitate until success arrives. But those who rise know a hidden truth. You must act successful before the evidence shows. Today, let's uncover how stepping into that mindset can transform the way you think, work, and ultimately live. Success always begins long before the world can see it. Every building, every invention, every empire, every achievement was first created twice, once in the mind and then in reality. The mind is the soil and thoughts are the seeds. Whatever you plant and nurture there will eventually grow into the circumstances of your life. This is why success starts in the mind. It is not chance, not luck, and not merely effort alone. It is the direction of thought, the clarity of vision, and the power of belief that give birth to achievement. Think of the architect. Before a single brick is laid, he sees the structure in detail. He knows the number of floors, the design of the rooms, even the sunlight that will pour through the windows. The building exists in his imagination long before it stands in stone. So, it is with success. The winners of life are those who dare to hold a vision and refuse to let it go. They discipline their thoughts as carefully as a gardener pulls weeds. They remove doubts, fears, and excuses because they know the mind will produce whatever is planted in it, whether weeds or wheat, whether failure or triumph. The remarkable thing is that the human mind cannot distinguish between what is vividly imagined and what is experienced. When you see yourself succeeding, your subconscious begins to adjust your behavior to match that image. You walk with greater confidence, speak with more authority, and take bolder action. Slowly, the world around you begins to respond to this inner picture. It is not magic, but psychology. People trust those who trust themselves. Opportunities favor those who appear ready. Energy gathers around those who carry themselves with purpose. Consider also how the opposite plays out. A person filled with doubt who constantly rehearses failure in their imagination is already defeated before they begin. Their body slouches, their voice lacks conviction, and their decisions are timid. The world responds accordingly, offering them little because they project little. They live as prisoners of their own thoughts, unaware that the bars around them are made of beliefs they can change. To succeed, one must understand that the mind is not only a mirror, but a compass. It doesn't just reflect your current situation, it points to where you are going. If you direct it toward possibility, it will guide you to solutions. If you fill it with limitations, it will guide you to excuses. What you dwell on expands. A mind saturated with images of growth, discipline, and achievement will pull you forward, even through obstacles. The greatest leaders, inventors, and creators in history were not people who simply reacted to life. They were people who first saw something within themselves, and then insisted on bringing it forth into reality. They understood that conditions were temporary, but the picture they carried in their minds was permanent, unless they surrendered it. The most important step anyone can take toward success is to take control of their thoughts. Feed the mind with ideas that inspire. Read, listen, and watch content that uplifts. Spend time with people who encourage vision. Guard the mental diet as carefully as the physical one, for the body becomes what it consumes, and so does the mind. Success in reality is nothing more than success rehearsed in thought, lived in attitude, and pursued in daily action until it finally manifests. When a person accepts this truth, that success begins within, they stop waiting for the world to change and start changing themselves. And as they do, the world eventually reflects the transformation that began silently, invisibly, in the mind. Behavior is the bridge between what you believe and what you achieve. The thoughts you hold in your mind create an image of the person you want to become, but it is your daily conduct that gives that image substance. Acting with confidence and discipline is not a matter of putting on a show or pretending to be something you are not. It is the deliberate practice of aligning your actions with the standards of success you aim to reach. Every choice you make, how you speak, how you organize your time, how you respond to setbacks, either moves you closer to that vision or pulls you away from it. When you deliberately choose behaviors that reflect confidence, you train your mind to accept those qualities as real. Imagine entering a room with a straight posture, a calm presence, and a clear intention. People notice. They respond differently, offering respect and trust more freely. That external feedback reinforces your inner belief, creating a positive loop. The more you act with assurance, the more confident you feel, and the more opportunities appear. This is not an act of vanity. It is the natural way human interaction works. Others often treat you according to the signals you send out, and those signals are carried in your behavior long before words are spoken. Discipline is equally essential. Confidence without consistent effort is only a spark that quickly fades. Discipline means setting standards for yourself that do not bend when comfort calls. It is choosing to prepare for a meeting even when no one would notice if you didn't. It is finishing a project with care even when shortcuts tempt you. Such habits might seem small, but they build an unshakable foundation. Over time, disciplined behavior becomes second nature. You no longer have to force yourself to rise early, to practice your craft, or to keep your word. It becomes who you are. Success, then, is not a sudden event, but the inevitable result of these accumulated choices. The beauty of acting with confidence and discipline is that you do not need to wait for perfect conditions. You do not need a specific job title, a certain income, or a grand achievement to begin. You can start right now, exactly where you are. Perhaps you are studying, working an entry-level job, or starting a small venture. In each setting, there are opportunities to carry yourself as a person who takes their goals seriously. Arrive prepared. Communicate with clarity. Listen actively. Treat others with respect. These simple, intentional behaviors create a powerful impression, and more importantly, they rewire your own understanding of what you are capable of. Challenges will inevitably test your commitment. There will be days when you feel unsure or when progress seems invisible. Those are the moments when behavior matters most. Acting with confidence, then, is not about denying difficulty. It is about meeting it with steady resolve. Maintaining discipline when you are tired or discouraged proves to yourself that your standards are stronger than your moods. Each time you persist, you strengthen the mental muscle that carries you through future trials. In the end, the connection between behavior and reality is undeniable. The person who consistently behaves like someone destined for success is already living that success in seed form. The outward results, recognition, opportunities, growth, are simply the natural harvest of a life governed by confident and disciplined action. A clear sense of purpose is the engine that drives every meaningful success. Without it, even the most talented and hard-working person can drift aimlessly, chasing distractions or short-term gains that never add up to anything lasting. Purpose is more than a vague wish. It is a vivid mental picture of where you want to go and why it matters. When you take the time to define it, when you sit quietly and ask yourself what truly inspires you, you create a guiding star that shapes every decision. This clarity gives meaning to ordinary days. It turns routine actions into deliberate steps toward a destination you have chosen, not one the world has chosen for you. Think of purpose as an internal compass. Life offers endless opportunities to wander, new trends, tempting shortcuts, and the pressure of other people's expectations. Without a compass, you can be busy all the time, yet never move closer to anything worthwhile. But when you know exactly what you want to contribute, learn, or build, every task is weighed against that direction. You begin to recognize which opportunities move you forward and which merely keep you occupied. This saves you years of effort and spares you from the frustration of working hard for goals that don't satisfy your deeper needs. Clarity of purpose also transforms the way you handle obstacles. Challenges stop feeling like personal attacks and start looking like part of the path. When you know the why behind your actions, temporary setbacks lose their power to discourage you. Instead of quitting, you adapt. You search for lessons in the difficulty, confident that overcoming it brings you closer to what matters most. This mindset turns adversity into training. It gives you resilience because you're no longer working just for a paycheck or applause. You're working for something that resonates with your identity. Another advantage of a strong purpose is the energy it unlocks. Many people rely on bursts of motivation, waiting to feel inspired before they act. But motivation fades quickly. Purpose, on the other hand, fuels steady effort even when enthusiasm runs low. It becomes the quiet determination that gets you out of bed early, keeps you practicing when no one is watching, and helps you stay focused while others give in to distraction. This kind of commitment compounds over time, creating the consistent progress that success always requires. Purpose also attracts allies. When you speak and act from a place of conviction, people sense it. They are drawn to clarity and confidence, eager to support someone who knows where they are headed. Mentors appear, opportunities align, and networks form around you because others can see the direction of your journey. This isn't luck. It's the natural result of broadcasting a clear signal about what you value and where you intend to go. Defining your purpose doesn't require a grand vision from the start. It begins with honest reflection. What excites you enough to work on it when no one is applauding? What problems in the world call to you for a solution? Write down your answers, refine them, and revisit them often. Over time, that personal mission becomes sharper, guiding you like a lighthouse in fog. With purpose as your compass, you stop living by chance and start living by choice, transforming each day's effort into a deliberate step toward the life you truly want. Consistency is the quiet engine that powers every lasting achievement. Many people underestimate its strength because it lacks the excitement of a sudden breakthrough or a dramatic transformation. Yet, if you look closely at the lives of those who have truly succeeded, whether in business, art, science, or personal growth, you will see a pattern of steady, repeated effort that builds upon itself day after day. Success rarely arrives as a single explosive moment. It is more like a slow, reliable current that moves you forward, inch by inch, until you look back and realize how far you've come. Think of a small stream carving a canyon. No single drop of water creates the gorge, but the persistent flow over time reshapes the landscape. In the same way, consistent actions, even small ones, can reshape your life in ways that feel almost miraculous. When you commit to a practice, a skill, or a discipline and show up for it daily, you accumulate invisible progress. You might not notice it immediately, just as you can't watch a tree grow in real time, but over weeks, months, and years, those small efforts compound into extraordinary results. Consistency builds trust, not only with others, but also with yourself. Each time you follow through on a promise to yourself, whether it's reading 10 pages of a book, exercising for 30 minutes, or dedicating an hour to learning a new skill, you strengthen your self-belief. You prove again and again that you can rely on your own word. This self-trust is priceless. It means that when larger goals appear, you already have the internal evidence that you are capable of meeting them. You don't have to wonder if you have the discipline, because you have already demonstrated it in countless small ways. It's important to understand that consistency does not mean perfection. Life will bring interruptions, setbacks, and unexpected turns. The key is to return to your path quickly, even after a stumble. Missing a day or facing a failure does not erase your progress. What matters is the long-term pattern, the steady rhythm of effort over time. People who chase perfection often burn out because they see one missed step as a total failure. Those who value consistency know that missing a beat is just part of the music, and they get back to practicing the next day. Another powerful effect of consistent action is the way it transforms your identity. At first, you might have to force yourself to keep a schedule or to practice a skill. Over time, those repeated actions become part of who you are. You are no longer someone who tries to write, you are a writer. You are not someone who occasionally exercises, you are an athlete in practice. This identity shift is profound. When your habits align with who you believe yourself to be, maintaining them becomes natural, almost effortless. Consider how this applies to any goal, from building a business to improving your health. Massive, unsustainable efforts can produce a quick burst of progress, but they often fade when motivation wanes. Slow, steady action, on the other hand, builds a foundation that lasts. Consistency multiplies effort like compound interest multiplies money. The earlier you start and the longer you maintain your discipline, the greater the growth becomes. By embracing consistency, you give yourself the gift of inevitable improvement, turning small, daily choices into the architecture of long-term success. A positive self-image is the foundation on which lasting success is built. The way you see yourself quietly governs every choice you make, from how you speak in a meeting to how boldly you chase an opportunity. If deep down you believe you are capable, valuable, and deserving of achievement, that belief shapes your posture, your tone, and your willingness to take on challenges. But if you carry an inner picture of inadequacy, the best plans or strategies will feel out of reach because your mind is already arguing against them. Think about how athletes prepare before a big game. Long before the first whistle, they rehearse victory in their minds, visualizing each move, each shot, each win. This is not fantasy, it's mental conditioning. They know that the brain cannot easily distinguish between a vividly imagined success and a real one, so they train their self-imagine to match the performance they want. The same principle applies to anyone seeking personal or professional success. When you consistently picture yourself as confident and capable, you begin to act that way, and your actions reinforce the belief. A positive self-image is not arrogance or pretending to be flawless. It is an honest recognition of your worth and potential. It is the quiet certainty that you can learn, adapt, and improve, even when you stumble. This perspective allows you to approach setbacks with curiosity instead of shame. When you make a mistake, you see it as data, not a verdict on your character. That difference determines whether you bounce back quickly or stay stuck. Daily habits play a powerful role in shaping this inner picture. The language you use when talking to yourself matters. If you constantly repeat, "I'm terrible at this," your mind takes it as instruction. Replace that with, "I'm learning and getting stronger," and you give yourself room to grow. Surrounding yourself with encouraging people, uplifting books, and constructive feedback reinforces a healthy self-image. Over time, these inputs become the background music of your life, guiding your mood and decisions. Your body language and physical habits also feed your self-perception. Standing tall, making eye contact, and speaking clearly send a message both outward and inward. You are confident and worthy of being heard. Exercise, proper rest, and attentive grooming are not just for appearance. They tell your subconscious that you are someone who values and respects yourself. Each small act of self-care strengthens the mental portrait of competence and value. It's important to remember that a positive self-image is built through consistent action, not occasional bursts of motivation. Set achievable goals and celebrate small wins. Each success, however minor, becomes evidence that you can handle bigger challenges. When doubts creep in, as they inevitably do, review these moments as proof of your capability. This creates a feedback loop. Belief fuels action, action produces results, and results strengthen belief. Ultimately, success flows from how you think and feel about yourself long before it shows up in your bank account or resume. By cultivating a self-image grounded in confidence, resilience, and possibility, you give yourself the freedom to attempt what once felt impossible. Over time, the outer world begins to mirror the inner conviction. The opportunities, relationships, and achievements you once chased start to find their way to you because you have already accepted at the deepest level that you are worthy of them. Learning and adapting are the quiet forces that separate those who merely wish for success from those who achieve it. No matter how detailed your plans or how strong your ambition, reality will always introduce unexpected twists. Markets shift, technology evolves, and personal circumstances change without warning. If you want to grow into lasting success, you must treat every challenge as an invitation to learn and every surprise as a chance to refine your approach. This mindset does more than keep you flexible, it makes you resilient. Instead of feeling defeated when things don't go as expected, you begin to see difficulties as feedback, not failure. Each obstacle becomes a message about what to adjust, what to strengthen, and what to release. The first step is curiosity. A curious mind asks questions rather than clinging to assumptions. When a project fails, curiosity wonders why it failed instead of blaming luck or other people. It digs into details, gathers evidence, and seeks understanding. Curiosity turns mistakes into lessons and transforms setbacks into stepping stones. By maintaining this attitude, you create a habit of exploration. You stop fearing the unknown because every new situation becomes an opportunity to discover fresh insights that can sharpen your skills and broaden your perspective. Adaptation follows naturally. Imagine a sailor adjusting sails when the wind changes. The destination remains the same, but the method shifts with the conditions. In life, adaptation works the same way. It is not about abandoning your goal, it's about adjusting your path to meet reality. Maybe you need to learn a new technology, refine your communication, or alter your schedule. Perhaps you need to rethink your strategy entirely. The willingness to adapt means you value progress over ego. You care more about moving forward than proving you were right from the start. True learning requires humility. Success often tempts people to believe they have all the answers, but the most accomplished individuals remain students. They read, listen, observe, and experiment. They seek mentors and peers who challenge their thinking instead of simply agreeing with them. They welcome feedback even when it stings, because they know honest input is a gift that speeds improvement. This humility protects you from stagnation and keeps your mind sharp and responsive. It's important to remember that learning is not only intellectual, it's emotional. When things go wrong, disappointment can cloud judgment. Adaptation asks you to process those feelings without letting them dictate your actions. It means pausing to breathe, reflecting on what happened, and then choosing your next step with clarity rather than frustration. Emotional intelligence The ability to understand and manage your own reactions becomes a vital part of learning. It ensures that growth continues even when emotions run high. Over time, this pattern of learning and adapting creates a powerful cycle. Each experience teaches you something new. Each lesson strengthens your ability to respond to future challenges. As your knowledge expands, so does your confidence. You begin to trust yourself, not because you expect perfection, but because you know you can handle change. This quiet confidence attracts opportunities and inspires others to rely on you when uncertainty arises. Success is rarely a straight path. It is more like a series of curves and detours. Those who embrace continuous learning and flexible adaptation are the ones who stay the course, even when the road shifts beneath them. They do not merely survive change, they use it as fuel for progress. By treating every challenge as a teacher and every shift as a chance to grow, you build a life and a character capable of thriving in any environment. The environment you choose to live and work in quietly shapes the person you become. Most people underestimate how deeply surroundings influence thoughts, habits, and even self-belief. From the conversations you hear to the energy of a room, every detail leaves a mark. If you want to build a life of success, you must become intentional about the atmosphere you create around yourself. Think of your environment as fertile soil. The richest seeds cannot grow in barren ground, and the strongest ambition will struggle in an environment that constantly drags you down. People are the most powerful part of that environment. The individuals you spend time with will either pull you upward or hold you in place. When you share space with those who are driven, curious, and optimistic, their attitude becomes contagious. They challenge you to think bigger, to refine your goals, and to reach higher standards. In contrast, if you consistently surround yourself with negative voices, their doubts start to echo inside your mind until they sound like your own. You don't need to cut everyone out of your life, but you do need to guard your inner circle. Choose companions whose actions and conversations inspire growth rather than complacency. Your physical surroundings also play a crucial role. A cluttered desk can reflect a cluttered mind. A chaotic home can drain your energy before the day even begins. Craft a space that encourages focus and calm. Simple habits like keeping your workspace clean, adding a plant for life and color, or placing a reminder of your goals where you can see it each morning can shift your mindset in powerful ways. The goal is not perfection, but purpose. Every detail, from the light in your room to the sounds you allow, should help you stay centered on progress. Information is another element of environment. The books you read, the podcasts you listen to, and the social media you consume are all part of the mental atmosphere that shapes your thinking. Choose inputs that stretch your perspective, teach new skills, and feed your imagination. Instead of mindlessly scrolling through negativity, seek out content that challenges you to grow. Over time, these positive influences fill your mind with ideas and strategies that naturally lead to success. Sometimes the environment that needs the most change is internal. Your thoughts, beliefs, and self-talk create an invisible climate around you. Notice the language you use with yourself. Replace harsh criticism with constructive reflection. Speak to yourself with the same encouragement you would offer a friend. When your internal environment is filled with confidence and purpose, outside circumstances have less power to shake you. Creating a supportive environment is not about isolating yourself from reality. It is about giving yourself the best chance to thrive. Seek mentors who have walked the path you want to follow. Attend events or join communities where ambition is normal. Travel or explore new places to broaden your vision of what's possible. Each decision to elevate your surroundings plants another seed of growth. Ultimately, your environment becomes a silent partner in your success. It can either reinforce the habits and mindset that carry you forward or quietly erode them. By choosing people, places, and influences that reflect the life you want to build, you allow your goals to take root and flourish. When you nurture an environment that lifts you higher, success stops being a distant dream and becomes the natural outcome of daily life. Faith in action is the quiet force that turns vision into reality. It is more than a hopeful wish or a positive thought. It is the steady belief that if you take the next step, even when the path ahead is unclear, you will eventually reach the outcome you seek. Many people misunderstand faith, imagining it as something passive, like waiting for a ship to come in. In truth, faith is movement. It demands effort and persistence. It is the willingness to start before you feel ready, trusting that the details will reveal themselves as you go. When you act with faith, you stop allowing uncertainty to control your choices. You begin to see obstacles as temporary conditions instead of permanent barriers. Think of the great innovators, builders, and thinkers throughout history. None of them had a guarantee that their ideas would succeed. What they had was the courage to keep working when the evidence was thin and the voices of doubt were loud. They understood that results rarely appear overnight. The seed must be planted long before the harvest is visible, and it must be tended with care even when the soil looks bare. Faith in action transforms your daily routine. It pushes you to wake up earlier, practice longer, and give more attention to detail because you believe your effort matters. It sharpens your focus. Instead of waiting for motivation, you rely on discipline, knowing that consistent action itself generates the motivation you need. Every small step forward reinforces the belief that success is possible. Each completed task becomes proof that you are capable of more than you once thought. This kind of faith also teaches resilience. When setbacks arrive, and they always do, faith keeps you steady. It reminds you that failure is not a signal to stop, but an invitation to adapt. You learn to extract lessons from disappointment instead of letting it define you. You begin to view challenges as part of the process, as moments designed to strengthen the very qualities that long-term success requires: patience, creativity, resourcefulness. Acting on faith also influences how you carry yourself in the world. It shows in your posture, your voice, your decisions. People notice someone who moves with quiet certainty. They may not know why they trust you, but they feel it. Opportunities tend to flow toward those who project belief in their own mission. This is not about arrogance, it's about conviction. When you radiate the calm confidence that comes from faith, you inspire confidence in others, and that attracts support, partnerships, and resources that might otherwise remain hidden. Most importantly, faith in action connects you to a larger sense of purpose. It allows you to keep working through long stretches when no one else is watching and when praise is absent. You understand that the reward is not only in the final achievement, but in the growth that happens along the way. Each effort shapes your character, strengthens your skills, and deepens your understanding of what you can accomplish. In the end, faith is the bridge between who you are and who you are becoming. It is the quiet agreement you make with yourself that says, I will keep going. I will keep building. I will keep believing, even when the evidence is scarce. By living that agreement every day, by acting with faith before success is visible, you create the conditions for success to arrive, often in ways far greater than you first imagined.